Right, as you will know if you watch Ups and Downs, I am a positive fella. I like to get up in the morning and just think, let's go and kick the world's ass. But what I don't understand is how in the space of 7 days we could go from a Raw that was really fun, it was really exciting, and made you feel all flambongus inside, to all of a sudden getting one of the most confusing episodes I think I've ever seen. But my name is Simon Miller. This is What Culture Wrestling's Ups and Downs show. We go through wrestling, get the good bits up, good bits down. Reason I am rambling is we got a lot to talk about. Let's up those downs. Do you know what is even more important than a good match or somebody having good in-ring skill? Sense. Having sense is the most important thing no matter what you want to apply it to in life. For example, if I come up with a sport where I give you a ball and say you have to throw the ball against a wall to get a point, and there is no wall, all of a sudden you're going to stand there thinking, this makes absolutely no sense. There is no logical way to win. Welcome to the start of Raw. Now, I was pleased when things kicked off with a match for the second week running because that just feels fresh, although I was a little bit more worried when I realized it was a mixed tag team elimination match. I mean, that is just an attack on your senses. Oh, it's a mixed tag elimination match, wear a beret on your head, punch somebody in the face, slap a chicken beret match. It also only existed to serve the ad break, to serve the commercial break. So finally, let's start paying our respects like WWE wants. Please join me. Anyway, my point is that it was Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins teaming up to take on Selina Vega and Andrade. And around about 4 or so minutes, Becky Lynch tapped out Selina Vega. But do you know what that meant? That meant that Becky Lynch and Selina Vega were now out of the contest. Why would any competitor agree to try and win something if they win also means they're now out of the thing? And also, what would that have meant if Andrade had gone on to beat Seth Rollins? Would that just have been a draw? We just get a draw? I mean, that would have been fine, but at no point did WWE make that clear. And the reason they didn't make it clear is because they had no clue. This only happened so we could cut to the flipping adverts between falls. And look, Lacey Evans was at ringside, and that pissed Becky Lynch off at one point, so they got into it. And after Seth Rollins had hit Andrade with the curb stomp, so they were the victors, they were going back up the aisle. Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans just attacked them. In fact, Lacey Evans punched Becky Lynch right in the face, and it pretty much just looked like an actual punch. The match was fun for the record, and the crowd absolutely loved it, but coming up with these stipulations just to serve the commercials is getting really, really boring. Why don't we just have 3 hours of commercial breaks, and then you don't have to worry about it? So all of that gets a down. Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans then gloated backstage and said that their relationship works because it is strictly professional. Then they just banged on camera. No, they didn't do that. I shouldn't have said that. That was really juvenile, immature. It just popped into my brain. I'm sorry. I apologize to any kids watching. I'm sorry to you too. I am an idiot. Paul Heyman walked to the ring next, and mostly because he was in his old stomping grounds, the audience went crazy. Look, just give it up. The whole Brock Lesnar storyline is a little bit silly because at no point do I actually believe that Lesnar is going to turn up. So although Paul E was here to say that he will guarantee or spoil, he called it a spoiler, that Lesnar will be at Extreme Rules on Sunday, I still didn't buy into it. I know what WWE was doing here. I think ever since it's been a good few years, anytime Paul Heyman does say it's a spoiler, that comes true. But as he himself said here, maybe I'm just jossing you and maybe I'm trying to wind you up. I do not believe that Lesnar will cash in at Extreme Rules. And even if he does, it hasn't made me want to watch that show anymore. But I like Paul Heyman. That's all it's getting today. A video recap then played showing everything that went down between Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman last week. And it was announced that yes, we will be getting a last man standing match at Extreme Rules between these two, which sucks a little bit because I think we should have kept them off TV for ages to really sell how devastating this was. And we also saw Bobby Lashley looking over here and not into a camera, reminding us once more that yes, he wants to kill Braun Strowman. Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre were then in the back, and they were asking a garbage man if he wanted to be Roman Reigns' mystery tag team partner in the main event this evening, which is going to be McMahon and Drew taking on Roman and a mystery partner. Because he is a garbage man, he said no. Imagine you did that in real life. Listen, man who is not a fighter, would you like to fight? No. Of course I don't, this is stupid. WWE then continues to make things so hard by having another 2 out of 3 falls match. You know why we're doing it, so bow your heads, please pay respect to the commercial break. This was so bonkers too, and I don't mean because of the match, but just so many odd things kept happening. But mostly, while I didn't actually get a kick out of this, you know, it was a fun match because of everything we've already talked about. We've got to keep pushing back against it. Give it a down. It was The Miz and the Usos versus The Revival and Elias, and as always, it went down like this. The Revival got the first fall on Jimmy Uso after they hit the Shatter Machine, and then we cut to a commercial break so we could come back and reset the whole thing. And during all of that, Elias just got pissed off, so he left. I don't know why he left, but we came back, he was gone. It was like this. See? I vanished. You can still hear my voice, and it doesn't make any sense. The good guys then got 2 falls back because The Miz hit Dawson with a skull-crushing finale to make it 1-1, and then Jey Uso also hit him with a splash to make it 2-1, and that was that. It was over. But it's just, again, it was so confusing. At one point, when the Usos were making their final comeback after the second fall, the bell just rang in between it, and it's like, what are we doing? Why is this edict controlling everything? Now, I have been very harsh on this, but it is not the wrestler's fault. It's just everything surrounding it. If this had just been a normal 6-man tag team match focusing on the separate feuds, it would have been absolutely lovely. With that line of thinking, we then got all the 24/7 stuff, and you know what to expect with that. It's nonsense. So when you get nonsense, you're all right with it. It's called continuity. Give it up. We got all the recaps from the week, including everything that Drake Maverick has been doing on his social media. And if you haven't been catching up, it's nice and simple. His new wife, Rennie Michelle, hates him because he values the title more than he values her. For example, why did they go honeymooning in Florida? Because that's where they already live. He was hiding in a crate here as he tried to convince his wife to help him out to retain his championship. She said, I will do that, but afterwards we got to go on our real honeymoon, and only then will I let you consummate the marriage, which is like, you know, they're going to have sex. That's what they're going to do. He agreed, and then the 24/7 title goons chased him away. More McMahon crap, and this time he was talking to a beer vendor, also asking if he would like to be Roman Reigns' mystery tag team partner, which means the guy beforehand, the garbage man, must have looked Shane McMahon right in the eye and went, I'm not going to accept your offer, and the egomaniacal Shane McMahon just went, okay, that makes sense. Rey Mysterio then probably regretted ever signing a new deal with the WWE. Down. He made his big return here and let us know that he had beaten doctors' expectations after his injury, which is probably true because why else would WWE have taken the United States title off him? He then issued an open challenge for anyone in the back, and it sucked to be him because he got, I'm gonna come and kill you and put you in a morgue, Bobby Lashley, who defeated Rey in around about 4 seconds. And I get that we're trying to make Lashley look like a killer at the moment, I mean pretty much literally, but this is Rey Mysterio. Do you know how much legacy and how much credence he's built up over the years? If you want to put somebody over Rey Mysterio like that, pick a young pup, pick a young up-and-comer, and give him the biggest rub of all time. Lashley continued to beat Rey Mysterio up after he'd already won the match, including threatening to throw him through the entranceway as well. But when a bunch of referees got in the way, he just lobbed his body onto them instead. The newly revived club was in the back, and Charlie Caruso was trying to figure out why AJ Styles had gone bad guy and teamed up with Gallows and Anderson, but they wouldn't give her an answer. So I'm going to make one up. Gallows and Anderson didn't want to re-sign with the company because they weren't being used. They got offered new big bumper deals and promised that they would get used. And that's why these three got put back together. Cesaro was then beating No Way Jose once again in around about 1 minute, because you know, if we do a short match, we can put commercial breaks around it. And I wouldn't actually mind this if I truly believed it was going to result in a push for the Swiss Superman, but I don't believe that. He swung No Way Jose around for a while, then he put him in the sharpshooter, and No Way Jose tapped. It's a down. This was followed by the Street Profits just being super entertaining, and I like them. I just do. I can't explain it, but I enjoy their energy, although I don't understand this obsession with the main roster calling up NXT Tag Team Champions. Either way, they can have it up. You're also going to have to forgive me. Once again, I will apologize. During this ups and downs episode, we then had all the fallout from the Maria and Mike Kanellis stuff last week, and I just enjoy it. I just do. I know, I'm an idiot. I'd leave a comment too going, this bald asshole, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Finger of power. Up. They were backstage here as Mike was trying to make it up to Maria by giving her some flowers. And Mike, in the future, don't wait 1 week before asking for forgiveness. There was some lovey-dovey stuff, and Maria then hinted strongly that she wanted some ice cream and she wanted some pickles, and you could kind of tell she hates her husband. He went off to get it, and then Maria said, "Who taps out to a woman?" He did. Right, okay, did I not make myself clear, not only the last time, but the time before that? Split-screen interviews are dumb. They're really, really dumb. Down. It was Bayley and Nikki Cross here, and I'm not even going to make up what they said. I'm just going to do it verbatim. We are now joined by Bayley and Nikki Cross, who tonight are going to be in a Beat the Clock challenge, and whoever does indeed beat the clock will get to choose the stipulation for Extreme Rules on Sunday. Nikki Cross, talking to you first. I feel like the whole world is on my shoulders. I got to win for Alexa Bliss. She's my only friend. Really, Nikki? Alexa is using you. You need to figure it out. She's using you to beat the clock. You leave her alone. The more you bash her, the more I want to beat you up. In short, Nikki Cross is going to take on Dana Brooke. Bayley is going to take on Sarah Logan. Whoever wins in the quickest time, yes, gets to choose a stipulation for Extreme Rules. This was really convoluted. And halfway through this bizarre discussion, Michael Cole also just shouted all these rules out, and it just made the whole thing really clumsy. R-Truth and Carmella were then looking for Drake Maverick backstage. They completely missed him. So when Drake Maverick and his wife ran that way, R-Truth and Carmella ran the other way, because he's stupid. This soon spilled over into the ring too, as we did see the Viking Raiders just destroy a couple of jobbers. But that wasn't it, because R-Truth and Drake Maverick all ran to the ring, and because they were doing that, they were chased by all the goons as always. This pissed off Ivar and Eric, who utterly killed Kurt Hawkins for getting in there to begin with. And look, all of this, much like before, was relatively entertaining. I swear I must have taken some kind of crazy substance before this Raw too, because we then had a Roman Reigns promo, which I watched multiple times, and I can't make heads and tails of it. Charlie Caruso was asking him if he knew who his partner was going to be. He said no. Then Roman Reigns asked Charlie Caruso, "Do you know who it's going to be?" She said no. He then said, "The only games that are being played here is by me and by my team." And then when Charlie Caruso went to leave, Roman Reigns got really pissed off and went, "Get out of here," and went back to his locker room area. I don't know what this was. I thought I was so off the ball with this, I just sat there and I slapped myself over and over. Look. I just hoped something would click. It did not. What on earth? Then the club and Ricochet were doing their stuff, and all of a sudden it was absolutely brilliant. Woof. Give it up. It started with Ricochet doing a promo, and that led into a match with Luke Gallows, and yeah, Ricochet won after a surprise roll-up, and I know WWE overdoes them, but this tied into something bigger. That annoyed AJ, who said, "Well, Ricochet, you said you could go through all three of us, so why don't you take on Carl Anderson right now as well?" Ricochet agreed, and then he beat Carl Anderson with the 630, and all of a sudden Ricochet looks like the best babyface ever, because if you go in there and try and compete, he will beat you. And I know that WWE did this to try and fit adverts in, but I don't care, because it made sense and it, lifted up somebody I actually like and I want to get behind. He did all of this while the club were interfering from the outside, which made him look even cooler. And after the fact, of course, Styles, Gallows and Anderson jumped him and started to whoop his ass. But even then, there were layers here. There was depth, because AJ was going to give him a Styles Clash from the second rope again, but said, "No, I ain't going to do it, because when I take you on at Extreme Rules on Sunday for your championship, I don't want there to be any excuses. So stay down." He didn't. He got up. The club are bad guys. They went back and they beat him up some more. It got good heat, and it made you feel sorry and give you sympathy for Ricochet. Look at that. A wrestling angle on a wrestling show, and it worked better than anything else we'd seen so far. R-Truth and Carmella then popped out 2 crates and scared Drake Maverick and Michelle. They ran off. Everybody followed them. McMahon and McIntyre then went and found the mystery partner for Roman Reigns, and it is going to be Gary, the maintenance man who has a limp in one of his legs. They offered him $5,000, and of course he wasn't able to turn that down. But because they knew he was going to be a victim because of this, they said, "When you're out there, you can wear a mask." Despite the fact that Gary was just sat there without a mask, I could see his face, and all of this was being recorded. It hurts sometimes, doesn't it? It actually hurts. Bayley then beat Sarah Logan in around about 4.5 minutes, and Nikki Cross beat Dana Brooke in around about 2.5 minutes. Nikki Cross gets to choose a stip for Extreme Rules. It's going to be a 2-on-1 handicap, so it's her and Alexa Bliss taking on Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. down. Crowd chanting CM Punk throughout all of this, which kind of sums it up, and afterwards, Nikki Cross told Bayley she should go out and find herself a friend so she could understand about Alexa Bliss's and Nikki Cross friendship. Maybe this means Sasha Banks is coming back. I don't really care. It was back to Mike and Maria after this, who are now getting 2 segments on Raw after not appearing for around about 76,000 years. And of course now, even though Mike had brought Maria all these treats, she was mad because they're going to make her fat. She also insinuated that Mike Kanellis was not the father. So that's our story. Who got Maria pregnant? I'm going with Repo Man. Then we just had 2 more backstage bits as Corey Graves interviewed Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, and the highlight there was Becky calling Corey Graves emo head or emo dude. It was quite funny, and the Street Profits were just pimping out Extreme Rules. It was okay. Unfortunately, my friends, then we had one of the stupidest main events for some time. So much so, I would like to introduce you to the Dunce Down, which makes me look like an idiot because I have to stand like this to balance a stupid thing on my head because it's not a real hat and it's actually slowly falling off. But that kind of ties in because I should look stupid because this was a stupid angle. Look, there it goes, it fell off. But the Dunce Down is here for stupid booking decisions that nobody in their right mind could justify. Because here, yes, it was Gary and Roman Reigns taking on Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. And of course, when it did begin, it was just Roman Reigns kicking all their asses. But then there was an accidental tag, which meant Gary had to get in the ring. And when he did, all of a sudden he was amazing. And he was flying around the ring and he was doing incredible kicks. And it was really cool. And you're like, oh, I wonder who Gary really is. It can't be the limpy guy we saw backstage because that wouldn't make any sense. However, Gary then got Claymore kicked out of nowhere. And that meant he lost the match for Roman Reigns. And it was also the first move he had taken. Don't get me wrong, the Claymore kick looked great, but still, he didn't look like any kind of superhero. He looked like a dude that was out of his depth. And that would have been fine if it was just this cool little moment that WWE had come up with. You know, the crowd liked it. But then Gary removed his mask and it was Cedric Alexander who looked like a kid as happy on Christmas Day. But why on earth would you do this, WWE? I respect the fact that you want to start pushing Cedric Alexander. I've said it here on Ups and Downs for weeks, but now he looks like an absolute geek. He looks like an absolute loser. He snuck in, he screwed some janitor dude out of $5,000, as far as I can tell, and as soon as he took any offense, he got beaten really easily, and he got beaten really clean. Why didn't you do it the other way around when Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre thinking, oh, Gary can't do anything, so we can just do what we want because Shane McMahon tagged himself in as soon as Gary was also tagged in. Gary could have beaten Shane McMahon and then revealed Cedric Alexander, oh my gosh, he gets inserted into a big feud and all of a sudden, he's where it is. That makes more sense. Why couldn't we have done that? This was genuinely ridiculous and none of it made me more excited for Extreme Rules. Can somebody please come smash me in the head over and over again so hopefully this information, this memory just falls out of my head. All right, let's calm down. It's just a wrestling show. I can't believe it. It's one of the first time ever, I think, Ups and Downs, I could not believe something when the alternative or the other option just was clear as day. It's as clear as day. Oh, we want to do something with Cedric Alexander. Let him beat Shane McMahon, who has an out, because he thought it was Gary. For goodness sake. And that was it. That was in the Raw. And I know I've been really negative, but I have pulled some positives out. But it just felt like it was written by 42,000 people and a llama. At the end of the process, they got a llama in. They went, llama, what do you think? And it went, meh. Whatever noises llama makes. And they went, oh, it's a great idea. Cedric Alexander is Gary. Give me my arrow. There it is. I hate doing this. I was so pumped last week. It gets a down. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's Raw, especially if you're that damn llama. Like, share, and subscribe. Head over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles. Follow WhatCulture on Twitter, WhatCulture WWE. Watch more videos here at WhatCulture Wrestling. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you a lot this week. We did Ups and Downs for Slammiversary yesterday. We've got Ups and Downs tomorrow for SmackDown. And of course, we've also got Ups and Downs later in the week for Fight for the Fallen. And then on Monday, we got Ups and Downs for Extreme Rules. Get your ass ready.